Howdy, howdy, beautiful people. It's another episode of Talk While I Roll, I suppose is what I'll call it for now. Because I could tell you the same stuff I've already shown you on my last couple of videos in regards to rolling, but I feel like it's pretty self-explanatory at that point. You want to find yourself a good quality wrap, some good quality cannabis, and you want to take your time. A lot of times a wrap like this will have a part kind of folded over on itself, if you saw that at all. It's something I mentioned before, is that you always want to stretch them out so they're good, even, you can see what you're working with for sure. But anyway, while I roll, I suppose I want to talk about happiness. What a mysterious thing it is. You can't hold it, you can't keep it. All you can do is enjoy it while you have it. Everything comes and goes, good times and bad. See, I myself, I am deeply unhappy with where I'm at these days. I feel like I should be eons ahead of where I'm at because I have a good heart and I like making people happy. But guess what that has done for myself? Aside from the satisfaction of making people happy, it has not manifested anything really positive in my life. I'm complimented constantly on my manners and how kind I am and etc., but that doesn't pay the bills, folks. It's always a wonderful thing to be happy and to spread happiness and spread joy and be kind to others and make their day. But at the end of the day, you can't be a servant to everyone but yourself your entire life. You gotta find a balance. Gotta find a balance between taking care of yourself and doing good things for yourself. If I was doing good things for myself, I would have left the industry that I've been in probably 5 or 6 years ago. I should have. But nothing else really interests me work-wise. I tried welding, and that was really cool. But because of my back, I was told that I should not stick in that field if I want to not be in a wheelchair by the time I'm 35. So, here I am, trying to figure it out. I thought about trucking, but I don't want to be away from my kids. So what do? I gotta become a master in something. I have to do something. Because the days of working your way up in a company are just not really so much there anymore unless you know somebody who knows somebody. Point being, is if you're unhappy, figure out why you're unhappy. Is it because you don't like where you live? You don't like the people around you? You don't like your job? Whatever it is. And just make concrete plans to change those things, even if it takes years. Keep that in mind and have that to look forward to, that whatever it is you're dealing with won't last forever. Like, I'm not specifically the house or neighborhood that I live in, but the town that I live in and the state that I live in, very unhappy with that. I'm just so uninspired here. So miserably uninspired. Don't like the people, don't like the weather, don't like the landscape. But it's where a lot of my family is at right now. So here I am. But ultimately, at the end of the day, I have the power to remind myself that this won't last forever. something that I've been needing to say out loud more often to remind myself. This will not last forever. I will get where I want to be, and I will accomplish the things I want to accomplish. You know, if you're unhappy, just try and find the source of your unhappiness. Try to do something to change it. Don't depend on being happy either, because life is full of ups and downs. You're always going to be going through something, good or bad. Just try to keep your head down. Don't worry about what other people think. I'm sure these are all things you've heard before, but I hope I can serve as a reminder for you to do those things. You feel alone at times, remember that you are not alone. There are people that care about you, even if your brain likes to self-sabotage and tell you that there isn't. There is, even if you don't know them. Guys, just take it easy on yourself. Don't be so harsh. Unless you're really not going in the direction you want to be in, then being a bit harsh. It's totally cool. Like David Goggins type, you know, sometimes you gotta carry the boats. Sometimes. By the way, entrepreneur who partially owns the Atlanta Hawks, goes by the name of Jesse Itzler, wrote a book about his experience living with David Goggins for roughly 30 days. Book's called Living with a Seal. I would highly recommend it. It's in my room, I would show you, but I think you get the point. Solid book about how to discipline yourself, how to push yourself, and knowing when to stop as well. Find your passions. Find your home. You know, if you're unhappy, find out if you're homesick or you're just jaded and tired of what you've been doing. You know, maybe it's time for something new. I think somebody's told to me some years ago something about in the Bible, blah, 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 every 7 years, you know, change comes about. So make sure you're staying fresh with yourself. Don't become too jaded in your routine. And try to really just be present and enjoy the moment. Something I struggle with is I'm constantly thinking about the next move and the next deal and the next this and the next what's gonna happen, where am I gonna be, how am I gonna do it. One of the great philosophers said some time and time ago that, you know, worrying does nothing but make you suffer twice, because you stress about something and then when it happens, you finally stress about it happening. You know, you put yourself through it twice. And there's no need for that, folks. Also, to end this video, I'd like to do my song of the day. And that song will be Is It Any Wonder by Duran Jones and the Indications. Beautiful music. Check it out sometime. Especially the live version, them playing it in Pastel something studios in New York. I think that live version is better than the original or the recorded. But anyway, check it out. Check out all their music. They have lots of very lovely music. And one tip here with the rolling, even though that's not the focus of this video, is just something that I came across. And I'll try to remember to put a skip to for this one. But there seems to be a little bit of a hole that I saw before that I thought would be covered by the rolling process, and it didn't quite get covered. And that's a great example. I'm very thankful it's towards the end of the blunt. So in this case, I'm probably just going to hold it like a carb until it's gone. Easy peasy, problem solved. But if you have a hole way further down here that you can't just easily cover like this while you're smoking, it's great to keep roaches on you because they're usually just the perfect size to use as a little band-aid. But if you don't have anything of that size, you can usually find a piece of tobacco from the guts, such as and bam. Band-aids can be very tricky. Sometimes they don't like to stick because you're not rolling it on top of itself. You're just lopping it on top of something already rolled. But if you're gentle enough and patient enough with your tongue, you can cover that bad boy up. And you never know, those tongue skills might just come in handy. Not the most magical blunt in the world. Not the best quality weed. I gotta move back up north for that. But old reliable, does the job. If you're unhappy, maybe you try and stop and think about it too. You know, it can get deep sometimes, folks. I've been thinking a lot lately about the way that I was raised, the kind of foods that I was raised on, and I've come to realize that, you know, through no ill intent of my parents, you know, they didn't know any better, but I was poisoned my entire life. I was even doing it to myself in my early adulthood through seed oils and modified agriculture and highly processed ingredients and preservatives and this and that and fried foods. That's the trouble with fried foods, is the seed oil. If you're frying in beef tallow or butter, not butter, I think ghee, you can be fine. But so many of us are addicted to the fast food, the things that the additives and the preservatives and the artificial dyes and flavors, and it's just no good. So if you are unhappy but you don't know why, maybe try and take a look at your diet. Maybe try and take a look at the people in your life and the way that they treat you, or the way you're being treated at work, or, you know, just take a step back. Think about how far back does it go. You know, you might just be unhappy about one thing in particular that happened last week. You might feel like a lost soul, like myself. Whatever it is, do some soul searching, folks. Is it any wonder? By Duran Jones and the Indications. Check it out. Happy smoking. Be kind to yourself. And I'll see you around.